Welcome back, class. Today, we are going to be talking in depth how to make a seafood cron meal. This video assumes that you know how to farm, use workers, hunt, gather, and cook. If you are rusty or don't know how to do these, there will be guides in the video description. This is an in-depth guide for setting up any of the automatable resources and not using the marketplace to gather anything. And this is much easier than the simple cron meal that we made, so this shouldn't take too long. So the reason that you want to use seafood cron meals is they are generally the best food for almost all life skilling. There definitely are some exceptions like the stonetail meals for training horses, and I'm sure there's maybe a few others that I'm not thinking of, but for the most part you are going to be using these for your life skilling, and it's probably going to be your best thing. Also, I do have a document in the link below that lists all the ingredients, where you need to get them from, so if you'd rather just use a text guide or you want to follow along. Now let's get into the recipes. There are two options similar to the cron meal, but one option is way easier. So unless you're a restricted account that is only in Balanos or something like that, and you can't get lion meat, then you're always going to want to go with the second option. So the first option that you can do, which I'm not going to explain at all, is Balanos meals, Calpheon meals, Margoria seafood meals. But the only real option, in my opinion, is the other one. So that's going to be 3 sweet tea, something. I don't know how to pronounce that. I don't think that's a real word. 1 savory steak and 3 Balanos meals, and obviously both of them have an ancient cron spice because they're cron meals. So we will just talk about that one. With that, let's talk about how to get ingredients. So for farming, you are going to want to get this and workers first. I suggest you set them up a week or two before you plan on cooking the meals because it does take a little while to get these ingredients. So for the farming life skill, you are going to need to plant pepper, onion, hot peppers, and sunflowers. I also highly suggest farming haystacks for milk. Not required, but I really suggest it. And optionally, really I don't suggest it unless you have space, is grain, fruit, vegetables, and chicken feed. As I said, I don't really suggest those last 4 unless you really want to do them, because you'll be able to get all of the stuff through either a vendor or workers. For your workers, though, I suggest you get honey from Alejandro Farm, potatoes, chicken, and eggs from Bartali Farm, fig from Shakatu Farmland, and dried fish from Circa Island. You can do it at any of the other islands. This is just the one that I have. So now let's talk about gathering and hunting. So you're going to need to gather some meat. The first off is lion meat. I generally go north of Valencia. It's kind of west of Ancado Inner Harbor. It's up the big hill. And you're going to need to kill some lions with your weapon and then butcher them. Then for hunting, I personally suggest you just go for pork from sniper hunting and Land of Morning Light, or you can do matchlock hunting at Narcion for rhino meat. You can also get weasel meat, deer meat, lamb meat, bear meat, wolf meat. There's a few others as well, but you can get those instead if you would like. So those are the only 2 meats you need, lion meat and then anything off of that list. And with that, I think we've gone over every single ingredient except for the vendor ingredients. So for the vendor ingredients, you'll need to go to a fruit and vegetable vendors such as Milano Bellucci, and you're going to buy paprika and strawberries. And then from the normal cooking vendor, you're going to need to buy deep frying oil, salt, base sauce, sugar, mineral water, olive oil, leavening agent, cooking wine, and ancient cron spice. Now let's talk about processing your ingredients before we go to your cooking utensil. You will need to get butter, cheese, flour, and dough. These are all going to be processed in the processing window, which is by default on L. So for flour, you need to use grinding on any grain. We're using potatoes if you're following exactly. For dough, you're going to do shaking on the flour with mineral water. To make cheese, you'll need to dry milk. And for butter, you need to shake milk with sugar, and that will make cream. You need to shake the cream with salt, and that will make the butter. With that, we are now ready to go back over the recipe for the cron meal. So you're going to need 3 Balanos meals, 3 suit tea, 1 savory steak, and 1 ancient cron spice. For your savory steak, you're going to need 4 lion meat, 5 fig, 2 cooking wine, and 3 pepper. For the suit tea, you will need 2 butter, 3 milk, 1 salt, and 2 tea with a fine scent. And to make those, you are going to need 4 sunflowers, but if you have special sunflowers, you can just use 1 instead of 4. You're going to need 4 strawberries, 7 mineral water, and 3 cooking honey. And that's all for the first 2 ingredients. So let's talk about the Balanos meal, which is kind of the last thing. For your Balanos meals, you are going to need 1 cheese gratin, 1 meat croquette, 1 smoked fish steak, 2 stir-fried vegetables, and 2 beer. For the cheese gratin, you will need to make 3 red sauce, and to make that, you need 1 base sauce, 2 sugar, 2 pork, 2 mineral water, and you also need to make 1 grilled sausage. For 6 pork, 1 onion, 2 pepper, and 2 salt. You're gonna add the red sauce and grilled sausage to 5 wheat dough, 4 paprika, and 3 cheese, and again, that's 1 grilled sausage and 3 red sauce. For the meat croquette, you are going to need 8 pork, 5 potato flour, 2 eggs, 2 cheese, and 4 deep frying oil. For the smoked fish steak, you will need 1 dried fish. Most fish actually work, but not every fish works, so if it doesn't work, try a different type of fish. You can also use fresh fish if you would like, but if you're using the node that I suggested, all of those fish should work. Then you're going to add 2 salt and 1 olive oil to that fish. And for the stir-fried vegetables, you're going to need 5 paprika, 2 hot peppers, 2 olive oil, and 1 salt. And lastly, for beer, you need 5 potatoes, 6 mineral water, 1 sugar, and 2 leavening agents. Again, we're going to go over the bonus meal one more time. The recipe, you're going to need 1 cheese gratin, 1 meat croquette, 1 smoked fish steak, 2 stir-fried vegetables, and 2 beer. And with all of those ingredients, though, you will now be able to make the simple Cron meal. So you're going to go into your L window. You need 3 bonus meals, 3 sweet tea, 1 savory steak, and 1 ancient Cron spice. If you have enough to make 10, you can also add in Nadia Rowan's special sauce, and you can do 10 at a time instead of 1 at a time, speeding it up. You buy that at the same place that you buy your ancient Cron spice. And I think that is all for seafood Cron meals. If you have any questions, let me know. Any corrections and additions will be down in the pinned comment. And next time, we are going to be talking about alchemy.